Hello and welcome to Bramble Jelly. This is episode 3, and today I'm joined by art director, animator, illustrator, and my Malaysian correspondent, Venese Rengasamy.
Hi,
Hello.
hey, everyone. Hi, Gordon. Hope you're doing
Hello.
well.
I was actually looking back through all of the things that we've worked together on, and there's so much more than I realized. Obviously, we've done the review challenges, kids' TV, music
hmm
video, a couple of
Yeah,
short
yeah.
films as well. So,
We've collaborated quite a number of times, to be honest. Yeah.
hey. Today we could talk about the sort of importance of collaboration. What would you say is if there's anyone out there seeking a collaborator, what would you say you look for?
You really need to set aside. I'm not sure if ego is the right word, but I would say that when you're collaborating, you need to really get comfortable mixing ideas together and not just you want to see more of your stuff for this specific scene or whatever, right? And if you're uncomfortable with that, being able to communicate with them as long that it can be done very, cheerfully, very casually, nothing too strict or tight, then
Yeah.
I think those are the criteria that really make a collaboration shine. Overall, the joy of creating together. I think that's the best part. I think that's what got us through so many projects together. It was also important to discuss each other's limits. Like I can imagine sometimes people when they find the opportunity to collab with someone, they might overpromise sometimes. Like, oh, I can do this, yeah, you can do that, I can do this, you can do that, blah blah blah. And sometimes when you get to the point where you are about to execute that idea, you find that you can't execute it as efficiently as you thought you would. And I
Yeah.
think that's where you have to be transparent about that and then just,
Hmm.
tell your collaborative partner and be like, yeah, I can't pull this off. Like maybe we can try to find another way around it. I feel like we oftentimes underestimate people's willingness to help. Asking for help is like one of the bravest thing you can do in general, I feel. So
Yeah.
just ask.
Room 6 on Broadway was that for me, I would never have had the song from Davina and the Vagabonds if I hadn't thrown a message out there to be like,
Mm,
ooh, would you be interested to collaborate?
I
So
remember, yeah.
the power of just asking, I think, is super important.
I think yeah, there's nothing much to lose at all for asking for help, really,
Yeah.
and there's only gain from there. Like it's either you don't get help or you get lots of help.
You're in a creative block and your usual sources aren't working. Where do you go to get your inspiration from?
The way that I would really try to cherish very specific memories and re-translate them visually. I've been always
Yeah.
doing that for the past few years. Just being able to remember. Recently, I would say that I feel a much stronger urge to draw what I feel rather than draw what kind of memory that I have had before, right?
Hmm.
I think
So it's
quite
more
recently,
like
like
a present,
yeah, like a
like this
present
is,
moment. Like I really want
yeah.
to just be able to translate what I've been feeling recently, and just draw it out and just get it out there. It's rare, as artists sometimes yes you have art blocks but sometimes you just have this weird period in life where you have this strong urgency to just create as much art as possible, and I
Yeah.
believe I'm in that period. Throw it to the universe. Here
Yeah.
you have it, the feelings of Venice, and you
Yeah.
can do whatever with it.
Creativity for me, sometimes it does happen in cycles or phases where I go quiet for ages and just gather all my thoughts and then suddenly I'm like, oh, blah, 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 and it all comes out
Right,
of me.
yeah, yeah.
So
And I feel like sometimes, everyone nowadays will have some form of procrastination. I feel like sometimes when you procrastinate, you are kind of indirectly just letting your ideas and your feelings just grow within you. And
yeah,
when it's ready to bloom, it just happens. Process those thoughts and something might just come out.
I love when inspiration finds you, but you kind of have to be open for it.
I feel like a lot of people underestimate what the most mundane things in life could bring to you, creating inspiration within you, right? And that includes doing nothing at all.
Yeah.
And sometimes just, yeah, like you mentioned, out of nowhere, something just might randomly pop up.
A common thing that people struggle with, I feel like maybe including yourself, is like once you've kind of cooked a project and it's almost finished, it's like that final 10% becomes like the hardest part of the
Oh
process
my
somehow.
God. Oh my God. It's
Do you
the
want to?
worst. The best part of about like a whole journey is the process and not the destination, right? Like the whole process of just creating it is what makes it so fun. And then when you're reaching towards the destination, like the final end of it, you're like, just get it done with it.
Is it like you don't want it to end?
At least in my case, I kind of dread about it towards the end of a project. It's because you're so close to it and you can already envision the whole thing already. Like it's literally right in front of you. So you don't know, you no longer feel the motivation to finish it because you can kind of actually see the whole thing, although it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
exactly the whole thing. So it's like now I gotta actually finish it. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, and I guess that's where things like a creative partner or an accountability friend comes in handy, where you can be like, "Look, I'm at the finish line here. Can you please just make sure I actually get to the end?" So,
That's true. That's true.
what would you say is your earliest memory of like a film or a game or something that really stayed with you?
I think at the top of my head, there's a game called Okami. Okami is I believe the first ever game or the only game that's ever been made of Okami is a PS2 game. You play as this deity, but you're actually just a dog, but the dog itself is actually a god in this very unique and beautiful art style. It's something that I have still till this then, like till this day, I've never seen something like this before. It is a very painterly, Japanese painterly art style. You draw a lot in this game. And
Okay, yeah.
to be able to execute certain skills, when it comes to games, skills are involved. And to activate certain skills, you need to use this brush stroke. You need to use this brush to create certain brush strokes to activate the skill. And
Okay.
that has always stuck with me. Till this day, I can strongly remember bits of here and there of the game, and it has definitely influenced um, not just the type of content and art I create, but just in general the things I appreciate in life. Because
Yeah.
in that game, nature is heavily involved. Like the plants, the flowers. Because in that game you gotta release certain curses from this cursed land, and once the curse is released, like flowers and plants just bloom, and that is always such a beautiful sight to witness when I was a kid. Like, oh my God,
Yeah.
so
Nice.
beautiful, right? What I'm currently working on is it's a series of videos for a museum. The series of videos are actually targeted towards kids, and it is actually a series of science videos, which I'm honestly quite pleased about.
Yeah.
It,
I'm so
yeah.
happy for you as well because as long as I've known you, you've had that kind of interest in science and wanting to share knowledge and
Yeah.
things like that. So it's really cool that you're starting to go in this direction.
Funny coincidence, right? I remember we were just talking about the older you get, the more you realize a lot of the things that you have once loved are resurfacing back. And like for
Yes.
example, I remember vividly, in my first grade, I believe, the classes had us write down our ambitions, and I wrote an artist.
Yeah.
But throughout my whole academic years and my early 20s, I was never an artist,
hmm
and I was always a science student, and I kind of did art like very, very little here and there, like just sketch and draw. And then here I am now.
Yeah.
I'm doing what a 7-year-old me wrote, which is
Yeah.
insane. Like it's just like this weird cycle, just coming back to where you started. I think that's the answer to being an artist, isn't it? You just gotta go back to what you truly love and what you're attracted to, and just create something out of there.
On this lovely note, thank you so much for being a guest on Bramble Jelly. I
Thank you
can't
for
believe
having me
it. Like,
here. Yeah,
yeah.
thank you. Thank you so much for asking lovely questions.
Before we say goodbye properly, though, Would you like to be part of a game?
I'm always up for a game, but what kind of game are we talking about here?